Hey guys, today I'll be showing you another restoration project I've been working on. And this video is also for Freddy, who owns this really nice and super rare Musonics Minimoog. And as you can see here, it's got the Musonics badge on it. And for those that don't know about what the Musonics badge is, what it is back in 1970s, Bob Moog was actually $40,000 in debt. And so there's a company by the name of Musonics that was making instruments as well, and they bought Moog, really to help Bob out. And as part of that buyout is they manufactured a certain number of Minimoogs with the Musonics badge, just to show the name of the company. And so it's still an RE Moog Minimoog, but it's got a Musonics badge with the Moog name as well. And so that's kind of the backstory of the Musonics Minimoog. But it's actually built like a RE Moog Minimoog. It's got the etched interface panel. It's got a little different layout of the oscillator control graphics, but it's still got the same etched metal interface. It's got the clear wheels, and as well as this is etched as well. This is a etched metal panel. That also the badge itself is etched as well. And so that's really the cosmetic differences. What is cool is this one was actually made, this was manufactured 12/29/71, so it's like right at the end of 71, so it's almost a 72. And what's really interesting about that is my Minimoog is a 72, made in August. So you got the August, and then you got the December of 71. And it's neat to see the differences. But this is actually the 240th Minimoog built. It's 1240 on the serial number, as you can see right there, 1240. Now I don't have all the screws in the back, so you'll probably see some screws missing. That's going in tomorrow. But that's the overview here. And I'll just kind of walk you around here, Freddy, so you can see what you're getting back. But all new knobs, rebuilt the keyboard assembly, fixed the oscillators. Now another note for this particular unit is this would have had the early oscillator board, the version 1. There's actually 3 versions of the oscillator board. The first oscillator board design was all transistorized, so everything was made up of discrete transistors. The second version was basically the same oscillator board as the first one, except they replaced all the transistors with op amps. So they would use op amps for the summing nodes and all that good stuff. And they used a 3046 transistor array chip, which was a chip that held all the transistors. And they used that for the actual voltage to current conversion, rather than having independent transistors, which is why the stability of the first Minimoogs were horrible. So this has the second version oscillator board, which was replaced to that second version. And now the third version oscillator was a whole different design. It used a single summing network for all 3 oscillators. And it also used a thermally regulated transistor pair, a UA726 package per oscillator for the voltage to current conversion, so it was rock solid. Super stable, but it took away that phase interaction you get from these earlier Minimoogs drifting a bit. And so that's really why these oscillators are preferred over the last version. But anyways, just going to give you a walk around here and let you see this thing. There is one modification I did to this unit. It already had some modifications done to it. It was dead on arrival, and the modifications were actually not working correctly. So I got rid of all the modifications. So you see this toggle switch right here. And you probably noticed a while ago I have this little box back here, which I'll be explaining that here later. That's something I built for this particular unit. And the switch plays a role. But anyways, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the 72 Minimoog of mine, which is 548 serial number. So it's the 548th Minimoog build. And I'll just show you some of the differences. So you still got the clear wheels, you still got the same basic design, but the panels are metal with a plastic overlay, and it's smooth plastic. And then after this, they went to a emboss, like a fake leather, just plastic overlay. And so this actually has a plastic overlaid panel as well, but still smooth. Mine's still got like a protective coating on it, which you can see the bubbles in it. And as well as the badges are metal. with a plastic overlay, and they're sharp cornered. And later these would become rounded corners. But overall, it's very similar to the RE Moog Minimoog as well. It actually has RE Moog circuit boards in it, even at this Moog Music badge. So really, the Musonics was a transition between RE Moog and Moog Music branding. Is really what this was. That's kind of how I represent the Musonics. It was like the cross between the two companies before they became Moog Music. And so it's just real interesting. One note also electronically about the early Minimoogs, the RE Moog Incorporated, is they did not have a scale control for the VCF. So there's no actual way to scale the filter to make it track exactly correct. So that is just some interesting stuff electronically. It's also got a really hot signal. And the big thing is that changed between Minimoogs through the years was the matching of the transistors. Later on, Moog just quit caring about some of the matching techniques, so the ladder filter is not matched. And there's also some gain stages that were changed in the VCA and stuff like that. But overall, I mean, all Minimoogs are great. Some of them sound a little better than others, but these early ones, they're gritty, and I love them. There's nothing quite like these early ones, and it's just a real cool thing. But Freddy, let me put the camera on the tripod here and I'll walk you through the sounds here. Let you hear this thing as a fully working unit now. Like I said, it's a much different instrument than it was when I got it. And I think you're going to be very happy with it. Get this camera on the tripod here. There we go. So first I'll just go through a sound here and let you hear this thing in the raw. And I also bring something else up too here. I did the dead zone mod to this particular unit. So the pitch wheel actually has a dead zone, meaning that when it's in the detent, it's dead 0.00 volts. And so what that does, that gives you better accuracy when you're in the detent, so you don't have any slight sharps or slight flats when you use the wheel. So it's always going to be right in the middle. It's going to be dead, as you can hear. You can kind of see how that works. It keeps you from having little sharps and flats if you use the wheel and try to recenter it. So it makes tuning a lot more accurate. I'll just go through each oscillator, let you hear each oscillator. We'll start with 8 footage on oscillator 1. And I'll just walk you through the oscillator, let you hear all the wave shapes, let you hear the ranges. So that's oscillator 1, oscillator 2. Oscillator 3. Now I'll go back to oscillator 1 and show you the range footages. So oscillator 1, oscillator 2. And then oscillator 3. And also I'll show you the tuning. We'll start with oscillator 2 here. I'm going to clean one key contact. So that's your oscillators. I'll show you that the noise source works here. So you hear your noise. Also the filter, like I said though, the filter tracking isn't going to be exact because you have no calibration for the filter for the scale. But you can still hear the filter tracks the keyboard. You got basically two tracking modes. When they're both on together though, you get a better tracking. But anyway, that's your filter. Your contour works for your filter. Since we got the filter self-oscillating, I'll show you that. So start with a real slow attack. And then we'll, so you can hear the attack, and then we'll go with the fast attack, slow decay. As well as you've got a sustained level. Basically what that does, that offsets how far this decay goes down. As you can hear. You've also got amount of contour, which controls how much of the contour is input into the filter. You also got a loudness control, which will open this filter back up. So I'll show you your loudness control here. We'll turn on both the oscillators again. So right now we can make a real fast decay. As you can hear, I don't have them turn all the way up. It takes forever. But I'll make a slow attack. The same thing here, we can set our as you can hear. So your contours are working properly. I'll show you also what's going on with the modulation now. With this toggle switch and the modification I made. There's actually two modifications I did. And I made them very discreet so you can't really tell that they're there unless you have the box connected. But what this switch does, it selects between if the oscillator 3 is used to LFO source or the box I built, which I'll pull it around here. There's an LFO I built internally to this box. And what it does, it's got a rate and a fine control. So I actually control the rate of this oscillator here, which technically right now I think it's the oscillator 3. Let me get this thing set up here for me. So we'll actually engage this to the oscillator. So as you can hear right now, it's the LFO, or it's the oscillator. If I flip this toggle switch down, now it's actually using this LFO I built in this box. And and it still goes to the modulation mixer for your modulation wheel, so you can still control the external LFO amount from the mod wheel like you can oscillator 3. This is a real simple LFO. It's actually the same LFO design I used in my MG1 modification. But as you can hear, it produces either a triangular wave or a square wave. And it goes into audio ranges. So now you're hearing to the oscillator. We can also engage that into the filter. And then what I also built in this little box that I hadn't demoed here, but I've got a video of it on my Instagram, which I'll send a link on this video, as I built my CV tracker mod, which I've brought up in the past. It's a special circuit I build that actually allows you to plug a 1 volt per octave synthesizer into this box, and you have a range and scale control, so you can actually calibrate the signal coming in, and it allows you to make the Minimoog track all 3 oscillators with the external synthesizer. The benefit of this is that also when you plug in to use this setup, it actually breaks the keyboard circuit, so you don't have bleed off. So for example, when you use the Minimoog originally with anything on the oscillator jack, you have to hit the reference note, but the keyboard circuit, the sample and hold circuit for the keyboard, isn't really designed to hold memory for a long period of time, so it'll slowly start bleeding off that voltage, and then you have to keep re-triggering note to get the frequency back up to where it needs to be. So this circuit eliminates that keyboard circuit altogether, so you never have to worry about the keyboard circuit causing any kind of detuning effect of your oscillators. So it's really nice. It's a really nice little kit. And with this mod, you can use any kind of LFO internal or externally, because it's just a 8-inch jack, so you can just plug anything in with an 8-inch jack, even a sequencer or whatever. You could even route a sequencer into this wheel and do all kind of crazy things with the modulation buses. So it's really cool. But anyways, that's the Minimoog. Really fantastic, and this is really the first Musonics Minimoog I've had in here, and it's just a really fantastic sounding instrument. But let me set this back here. But what I've also done in this little box too, one thing I forgot to mention is you probably see the Jones jack for the S trigger. So I actually built a gate to S trigger converter in this little box itself. And so you just plug this in, and then you plug in your gate from your modern synthesizer, and it does the conversion to S trig for you. So this little box does everything, and it's actually powered from the Minimoog. So I can unplug it from the accessory power. It's right here, and you can see the light goes out, and it goes into a 6-pin Jones jack, and this is your modulation output here into this 1/8-inch jack, which plugs in underneath the Minimoog panel. So you can unplug it there, and then that's all the mod is right there. So it's completely removable, with the exception of having the jacks underneath the panel here, so you don't really see them. There's already holes there as part of the other mod, so I didn't really have to drill any holes, which was really nice. I kept it pretty much what I could. I reused this toggle switch that was used for the other modification, but it's just a fantastic Minimoog. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I'll just play a little bit more on it here. Something else I'll do, I'll put a little reverb on this, just so you can kind of hear how this sounds as a musical instrument rather than just playing it. Anyways, Freddy, I'd like to just take the moment here and thank you for giving me the opportunity to restore this Minimoog for you. It's been a real honor getting to work on this. And for all you guys that watch my videos, appreciate you watching. And if you like some of these videos I do, I don't know if I've mentioned this in the past, but I got my little Instagram channel set up. And so I post a lot of little short videos there, or things I don't necessarily always post on YouTube. So there's some cool little demos and cool things there on my Instagram page as well. And if this is your first time checking out my channel, be sure to subscribe, and you'll see more videos of Minimoogs and Polymoogs and who knows what else the future holds here. But anyways, guys, thanks again. I really do appreciate it, and I will have more to come here very soon. Take care.